Hey there, Cinephiles. Today I'm going to be reviewing The First Slam Dunk. This is the latest anime film to come to theaters in the US, and it follows this high school basketball team in the most important game of their lives so far. Now, as a basketball fan myself, and the rave reviews that this movie has been getting nonstop, two of my friends dragged me to watch it. And you know, there's a lot of great stuff, but there's also a lot of stuff that I didn't love either. And before I get into why I'm so split on this movie, it does have a lot to deal with my sensibilities and me not necessarily being a huge fan of anime. But let me get into the positives before I get into the negatives. The biggest thing I really liked about this movie is that you can clearly tell that there's a passion for basketball from the creators of this movie. There really is a lot of nods to basketball culture in this, to Dennis Rodman, to the Bulls, to even how sneakers can tell a story. That was one of my favorite things to see. It was every time looking at their shoes and just seeing what that told about their character in that moment. I also do love when they were using their medium of anime and animation to its fullest capabilities to show what it's like being on a basketball court or even just enjoying a game. Especially towards the end when they're scoring that final bucket, there's a beautiful mix of sound design and this visual storytelling that they're doing, and it's enhancing the play of basketball that you can't really see in live action or even in a normal game. However, that does tie into one of my complaints about the movie, and it's that it didn't do it enough where it fully used its anime capabilities. It does at times, and when it does, it's truly impactful and I love it. But for the most part, it left me wanting more of that. And I'm fully aware that that comes from the basketball mind in me, because a lot of the emotions I was feeling was seeing pretty normal gameplay that I would normally see on the NBA court. And speaking of sensibilities, it does this thing where it slows down a lot, and I feel like that messes up the pacing. For example, we do get so many reaction shots so much of the time, it did get a little overbearing. That combined with the constant stopping to go back and fill in some backstory, it just kind of messed up the pace of the movie for me. This movie felt like the final minute of a close game, but there's like 1,000 timeouts called, so in real world time, it takes like 20 minutes to just play 1 minute of basketball. And I gotta be honest, a lot of those timeouts, aka flashbacks, should have been trimmed down quite a bit, because unfortunately this movie is just too long for me. But really, those are the only two big main issues I have with the movie: the pacing being off and the fact that it didn't take full advantage of it being animated on the basketball court as much as it could have. Like, this could have had some amazing visual storytelling, especially with the point of view of a point guard. On a basketball court, it's usually the point guard that runs everything, and there could have been some great stuff visually told through the point guard's court vision that we couldn't really see, whether or not he's a good point guard or if he's just a good player who happens to be the height of a point guard. That may not sound like much, but for me it is. But to get back to the positives, I will say it was pretty cool that essentially the point guard was passing off the story and, more importantly, the backstory to each character whenever he passed the ball to them. The story structure did end up mirroring how a basketball play would be run, and I thought that was pretty cool. I give The First Slam Dunk a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Now look, 2.5 out of 5 stars is still a good movie to me. It's one that I even rewatch. But I just felt like there were many opportunities that weren't capitalized on, and the ball was dropped, pun intended. And what didn't help is that I did see an immense amount of hype for this movie before going into it. Maybe next time I watch it, it will go up to a 3, because it is an enjoyable movie, but for how I feel at this moment, a 2.5 serves it well. And don't get me wrong, I do like a lot of the characters, but I think I would have preferred this to have been a TV show. And look, still do check it out. I still recommend it, because I'm sure more people are going to be much more positive on this movie than I will be. I'm just slightly disappointed in what I was expecting from this movie. But alright, those are my thoughts on The First Slam Dunk. Please be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And down in the comments, let me know your favorite basketball movie. Mine's personally Coach Carter, but I also haven't seen all too many basketball movies. But anyways, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Stay tuned for more Yeti Films content, and I'll watch you later.